Hello, hello. What is going on, guys? Welcome. So I think we're good to bring in Mr. Andy here, which is great. Let me go ahead and throw him in here. See if we can get him good to go. What's up, Mr. Andy? How are you?
Hello. I don't hear you yet. Hang on a second. Sorry.
I hear you. We'll give Andy a minute. He's coming in during a winter storm in Texas right now. He last I chatted with him, didn't have power, maybe didn't have internet, so we'll have to kind of find out there how things are going. We'll do some quick check-ins here in chat, seeing how you guys are doing.
Oh, whoops.
We'll give him a minute.
Had my things.
He's got it. He'll figure it out, which is good. So yeah, welcome. What's going on, guys? Hey, Andy, all good to go?
Hello. Sorry, I had my microphone. I tried to plug this into the Mac, my MacBook minute, and I had the inputs full. But yeah, hey, hobbyist, how you doing?
Your audio sounds 10 times better than when I first pulled you in. It sounded like headphones maybe, or webcam maybe.
Yeah.
AirPods. Got it. So what's your weather situation? Did your power come back on, or you're just joining via laptop?
My laptop is tethered to my phone at the moment, so I'm over cellular. Hello, cellular.
Wow. Dedication.
Yeah, we just got a text message saying now it's going to be 3:30 before the power is restored, so just sitting in a quiet house talking to you.
Oh, I like it. Well, I'm glad I can keep you company hanging out today. Yeah, so just jumping in, guys, we have no agenda today. It's literally just hang out and chat with you guys, which I think will be great. Thank you guys for joining us in chat today, coming to hang out and talk. So a number of you guys in here talking things up a little bit, talking about HiveOS, talking about a lithium there. So Andy, why don't we just go off of what do you have mining right now? Give me the rundown. What you got going
on? So I actually had someone in Sleep Money Club ask me what all mining rigs and stuff I'm running, and I hadn't actually thought about it in a while. But 19 Bitcoin miners, and I'm probably gonna. I don't know if you were just testing it or if you actually have one, but I'm gonna get myself an S21, at least one.
Maybe. I have one.
Okay.
I have one. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna get a couple of those. So, anyways, running 19 Bitcoin miners. I've got two Ice River KS0s. I have one Ice River KS3M. I've got the Bitmain Z15 Pro. That one's on Pirate Chain. Got a little iPolo 400 mega hash. That one's on Octa Space. I'm still running a KD Box Pro. I think that one might be losing money.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Let it ride.
Yeah. And then I have my GPU rigs pulled out at the moment. I got to put them. There's something going on with those. But that was running my two 1660 Ti GPU rigs still.
Yeah.
So I want to get those back up because there are several Spec mining plays, and then I was running my my Black Miner F1 Mini FPGAs up until maybe a month or two ago, mining 𝐻𝐿𝐼𝐂, which was like at break even or even losing a couple cents a day, but then it shot up. So I actually probably should have kept those going on that. Maybe I'll switch them back over to that. I think that's all the mining rigs except for random things like hotspots and things, which I don't know if people call them mining. You're mining on your DEMA, you're mining on your Hive map, you're mining on your Helium, but it's not actually mining.
Correct. You're just being rewarded for participating in the network. That's pretty much what it is. So yeah, no, absolutely. That is awesome. I mean, I'm so thrilled that your GPUs are still running. Like those things have been going for years now, right?
Oh yeah. I bought those at the end of 2019, I think. In hindsight, being 2020, when I saw those the 1660 Ti selling on eBay in 2021 for like $650 each, I should have said, maybe I should offload these. But
those are always
hindsight for a reason.
I always listen to DJ talk about the fact of like his last bull run versus now we're in the bear run, and now looking at a future bull run of like his plan is to liquidate everything during the bull market. Like take that opportunity, take the profits, and then just rebuy. I think it's common for a lot of us to like get emotionally attached to hardware, and then It's, I've done it 100%. I didn't really sell any GPUs till more recently. And it was more of one of those like 𝐂𝐵𝐆 nudging me like, dude, you just get rid of these, like sell them off. If you got to pick and choose, buy, now's a great time to buy. I mean, things have gone up a little bit, but still is a great opportunity to purchase. But I just realized I had, so let me put a little something in the background there.
Yeah, well, the other thing too about like the GPU stuff is like, I'm sure you have a few too that you've done spec plays. Like these are the GPUs I mined a lot of my flux on, and a lot of other and stuff. And they've made me so much freaking money. It's like, does it matter if I miss selling them at their peak? No, it doesn't. So, but yeah, in hindsight, I wish I had been a little bit more proactive about that. And yeah, just like don't marry your bags, like, don't marry your hardware either. Like get out and then have money so you can get back in when the time is also right.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's awesome. I mean, I'm always interested to hear what people have mining. Just like what do you got going on? Because it's always something fun in there. Like the Z15 Pro on Pirate Chain, and that bag must be massive. I would think at this point. Because how long have you had the 15 Pro running on Pirate Chain?
6 months, maybe 9 months.
6 months. Okay. For some reason, I thought longer. Did you have an original Z15 before the Pro or no?
No. Well, I mean, the Pirate Chain story is in 2019 at like peak bear market. So I'd in or no, maybe it's 2020. I don't remember what year it was. The year that the Z9 Mini came out from Bitmain, the little bitty mini Equihash ASIC, one of the first ones. I bought that one at launch, and I was batch 2. I wasn't batch 1, unfortunately, but I was batch 2, and that was when Flux was still Zellcash, and before
the original
Zellcash, before they had switched to Zell hash. And so when the Asics came out and they were a Zcash fork, I had my Z9 Mini, and I mined like 40,000 of my flux with just that thing in like a month.
That's crazy.
Before they changed away from that, hard forked away from that. But anyway, I sold that then on eBay for a profit. So I mined all this big bag of flux with my Z9 Mini. I sold it on eBay for a profit. I was like feeling real good about myself. But then I found out about Pirate Chain like a year later. And so I looked on Craigslist, and at that point the market completely bottomed out. So I found someone selling a Z9 Mini, which I originally purchased for $2,000 from Bitmain, and I bought it for $150 or $180 or something.
Steal right there. Yep.
This guy who was mowing his grass, and I walked up to him, and he just had it sitting there in his garage, like, yeah, you can have it. And so I put that on Pirate Chain, and I mined Pirate Chain for like a year and a half before the bull run, and I spent maybe $1,000 on electricity. I spent less than $200 on that machine, and it mined like 12,000 Pirate Chain, which was worth 150 grand at its peak.
Wow!
I sold near peak. I didn't sell peak, but I sold really close to peak. So that little $1,200 investment like blew up. And so now I'm like, oh, we got to mine Pirate Chain again. This time with a
just
big
let it run. Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%. That is awesome. In chat, Mad Electron had mentioned Hobbyist sell the Asics, come back to GPU mining. So I have both, and I've definitely bolstered up. So I'll show real quick here because I was as you were running through things, I was like, I'm not gonna remember any of the stuff I have. Like I have.
Well, do you know how many ASICs you're running or how many GPUs you're running right now?
Yes. So HiveOS, I have a lot of it. I'm keeping track of. Not all of it is in HiveOS at all. But on the ASIC side, this is some of it right now. So I have in my shed. This is my current shed: 2 E9 Pros, 1 L7, an S19J Pro 100 terahash, S19K Pro, an S21, an S19K Pro, and the WhatsMiner M60. So those have maxed me out. I'm at 27,000 watts in that shed right now. I have pretty much 1,800 watts left. So what am I gonna put in there? It's gonna be like a light miner or like a KS1 or something like that. I was looking at
that Jazz Miner X16Q recently. That's like
Yeah.
1,000 watts or 1,200 watts or something.
Yep. So I have those in my Asics shed right now. And then back home here, in my shed here, I have the S19 XP in immersion, and toned down because I'm maxed out on power here too. I have an S19J Pro.
Which immersion enclosure is that?
This is the fog hashing C2
that
unit.
Cool.
Yeah, it's actually this one. Here we go. I'm not sure how to quickly swap this, so let me just do this here. I came to class today prepared with some show and tell.
I'm trying to keep you on your toes, hobbyist.
Oh, I know, 100%. Here we go. So that's this fog hashing unit right here.
Yeah,
with the outside unit there. Yeah, and then so the XP is on the right, and the 100 terahash unit is on the left. I've done really well with these when I have the spare power. I've gotten the XP up to like 170 terahash, which has been awesome. Wow. These are both, they're both on Hive OS right now, which has been pretty sweet in that regard. But
Duncan, the S21 in there?
I thought about it because I was like, oh, that would be a great opportunity. The hard part is like once you go immersion with a unit, you really don't go back. Like it's a, you know what I mean? Like you're talking about having to buy like a full cleaning kit and like, so I'm kind of like, I'm committed now. Like these things are never coming out of this immersion tank. So I have those. Yeah, I have those two units here. I also have the Z15 Pro, but that's only on loan from Mine Shop that I have. And then I have a few Asics behind me that I have that are being sent out for hosting. I actually have 6 Asics I'm sending to hosting. 2 different hosting places to be announced. But yeah, because I'm just out of power. And it's like I got equipment coming in. I got nowhere for it. I'm also running here the iPolo V1 Mini or V1H. That's that Hydro iPolo. That's in my garage. I have a Jazzminer X4 1Q, right? X4Q in my kitchen. And then I have the X16Q that you were talking about and above my garage, heating the bedroom above the garage.
What are you mining on those?
Those I have. The one is on Ethereum Classic. Or no, sorry. The X16Q is mining Octaspace and Zill. Nice. The other 2 Jazz miners I have. One of them is on. What is it? The other ones, and then I also have an X4 1U in the shed on the top rack. Those are all like a variety of things. Like I have 2 of them actually on Ethereum Classic, which is actually really good right now. It's actually been pumping and getting paid out in Raven coin because my Raven coin is super low, my bag, and I'm making like over 1,000 Raven coin a day right now with just letting those things run. So I'm like, I'll just build a bag back up. I sold a bag forever ago, I think when it was like 25 cents. So I'm like, yeah. So I've used those as kind of my spec plays, my bag builders, which have been really, really nice. And then to answer Mad Electron here, these are all GPU rigs. So I'm up to just under 70 GPUs right now. I still got some more to add to this. And then once I get the hosting done, I want to double my GPU count. So I want to get to about 150. But I'm just out of power right now. And then I got a boatload of like tons of equipment that's not mining. Mini gold shells, lights, iPolos, you know, all that little stuff.
What about the what's the Z15 that you have on loan? What's it mining?
Pirate Chain, thanks to Mr. Andy here. I did have it on Horizon solo mining. And I ran it for 7 days and hit nothing. And I was like, well, I thought my expectation was I would do better. And because I was like, oh, interesting coin. Let's go ahead and get a bag of it. Solo mining it, sure, why not? And that was abysmal. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna throw it on Pirate Chain. I've heard of Andy's success stories. Let me get a bag of it before I send it back. Yeah, we'll see where it goes. I have a relationship with Mine Shop that they will be sending me Asics as I request them for videos and testing. And so the benefit for me is like, hey, I can mine with them. I can create content around them, which is really, really great. And then I just send them back and get something different. So that'll be fun in that regard. So yeah, we got boatloads. I still got plenty of GPUs there, Mad Electron. So I hear you, brother. I hear you 100%.
I sometimes forget that Horizon is still a thing. I ran Horizon nodes once upon a time. I had a little bag of Horizon, but I do not have any of that anymore.
Yeah, I'm gonna put a poll in chat here. What are you mining more with? I'm curious. GPU mining or ASIC? So how's your DePIN stuff been doing? How's that been working out for you?
DePIN is alive and well. I've been enjoying my my Helium 5G earnings. IoT earnings, as you know, shot up like crazy. So all of a sudden, my Helium hotspots that I have never turned off started becoming relevant again. And then, of course, I've got one or two that I swapped over to Crank, which those are still doing pretty well, doing like 25 to $35 a month with one of those little hotspots. So that's great. But yeah, all the different things are good. I'm just on the lookout for more. Trying to just build up a few other positions because I think DePIN's going to be so big into the next bull run.
Makes me wish I bought up several like demos or dymos, however you want to say it, and put them in like relatives cars. You know what I mean? Like it would have been such a good play like a year ago,
or just to buy a bunch of extra demos just to drop on eBay. Because especially Hive Mappers, man, I've seen Hive Mappers sell for like $2,500 on eBay because people want them now, which is wild. Which gives me real Helium hotspot vibes from the last bull run. Which you buy the thing for $300 to $500, and people were selling them for $1,500 to $3,000 on eBay.
I think I sold my Hive Mapper maybe 3-4 months ago for $200. Hell yeah! That was one of those it was absolutely one of those. This is too much work, like to do this with this product. They are like right there, but in order to I think get more mass adoption outside of like crypto bros, it's really going to be you plug it in and it's not relying on your phone. It does its job. You bring it into your house. It connects to your Wi-Fi when you plug it in, and it dumps to your account, and you're done. The reliance on the cell phone, I think, is too much of a hurdle for me. I think they really need to find an avenue,
Yeah, that was my number one thing I said in my videos about it. Was just that's the big downside. However, once the price went up, I was like, oh, I guess this is worth it.
That's worth it. That's right.
Because I have there's folks in Sleep Money Club who run this thing, and they drive a lot every day, and they're making like $500 to $1,000 a week.
That's impressive. You know what? But that's awesome. Like use case right there. Perfect use case. Yeah.
But like, I know a few people to connect your phone and run it. Like they don't care about it because it's so. Once upon a time, I agree.
Yeah, I think if you're not like I know Matt Electron does a lot of driving with his job, so I'm thinking his position, like hours in a vehicle and a truck, whatever. Like, 5 minutes here and there is fine, but it's like when I got 5 minutes, I want to run 15 minutes down the road and then 5 minutes back, like a few minutes back, and it's like, but I spend 10 to 15 minutes having to deal with photos. It's like, this doesn't weigh out much. But no, I mean, at the end of the day, you're right. Like hardware, look at it. That's the hard part. Is like Hive Mapper. I don't think anybody saw coming regarding like the demand for it. So it's like, think of it. Go back like 6 months ago. Were you going to be like, I'm going to buy 25 Hive Mappers? No, like, and hold on to them until they're worth, significantly more.
I mean, in hindsight, though, like we should have seen it coming because we both lived through Helium last time around. We saw the power of that. So I should have gone, what's the next Helium? Because of at some point, if you have a $300 to $500 device that makes hundreds or $1,000+ a month, it's going to like catch on like wildfire. So I just in hindsight, I should have seen it coming, but no, I'm with you. I absolutely did not. But what you should do is you should do what I've done and just farm it out to your wife. I put it.
There you go.
The camera in my wife's car because she drives way more than me, and I just taught her how to hook up the app and stuff. And she was annoyed by it too, but then I showed her how much it was earning, and she's like, I don't mind doing this.
My Dymo is in my wife's van. She has a newer, she has like a 2020 Honda Odyssey. And so it hooks up to her van, no problem. But I have not older, but a 2019, I guess it's getting older. 2009, I'm sorry, older, 2009 Nissan Rogue, and I don't really care. It's got like 150,000 miles on that sucker, and it drives, and I don't really mind it, but it wouldn't hook up to that. I had some challenges with it, so I ended up throwing it in hers, and so she doesn't even know it. She doesn't even know it's in there. It just kind of runs and makes money, which is, I think, awesome.
Demo is really of the two. It's not earning as much, but man, is it like it's such a case, like you're just saying, of night and day difference, because the thing they put the autopilot in your car and you don't ever think about it again. It's completely in the background, completely automated. It's got its own connection and stuff. I mean, really, that's the way to do it. But again, you can't argue with the Hive Mapper results, but it would be very nice if it was all built into the camera and you just drove. You didn't ever actually interface with it.
Yeah, I'd also kind of like, for me personally, I kind of think I would like the dash cam feature. Like if you're going to be running a dash cam, I'd love to be able to access it. Now that's a situation where it's like, I'd love to be able to access it from my cell phone when I need to, in case of an accident or a problem, versus like, I got this big thing in my window and it's recording, but I can't do anything with it. And it's like, you know, it's got to be easy, not like a pull out this and plug it into this and try to grab this. Like, dude, no, just the app's got to be able to access it. Yep.
Yeah, it's crazy that I think it's the case for both of them, but I know definitely for the cheaper one, in order to use dash cam stuff, you have to have a USB stick storage device stuck out of the side of it. It's already huge in the next thing. And then on the entry level one, it only records, I believe, 4 hours of dash cam footage before the stupid thing can't. It uses only FAT formatting, and it doesn't. It's not intelligent enough to create new folders and stuff. So it just, once it hits 4 gigabytes or whatever, it just stops functioning, and you have to manually take it to a computer, offload it, and then plug it back in, format it before it's just a huge pain in the ass. Like no one in their right mind is going to do that. I think that process is a little. You still have the USB stick, but I think the process is a little bit better on the more expensive one. But that's like, why didn't they just make it also a fully functional dash cam too? And then it's like, I would buy that just to have the dash cam, and then it earns me money on top of that. That's like the biggest no-brainer in the world. But I think that's almost like when you look at Dymo, like Dymo serves two purposes, and I think that's really where Hive Mapper needs to pivot to. Like it needs to serve dual purposes, one being outside of crypto, and then crypto's a benefit. Like that's like your selling point. So it's like, you could pick a dash cam. There's a million dash cams out there, amazing models out there. Well, this one is a dash cam too, but it also earns you crypto. Okay. And it's something like with Dymo too. It's like Dymo originally is built for like kind of car monitoring, or as I talked about in my video with it, think of it like a smartwatch, but for your car. It helps you to keep track of like your health and all those types of stuff. And then, on top of that, you earn crypto. So I feel like Dymo has a lot more legs to it than something like Hive Mapper right now, because Hive Mapper, I think, put crypto first and real world use second. And I think that's really what's holding it back, to be honest with you. Yeah. Plus the auto, I mean, like if you do Turo, or you do, you have like a fleet of vehicles. I mean, why would you not have an autopilot in every single vehicle?
No brainer.
GPS tracking, and it tells you what the gas mileage is and the voltage of the car and the error code. It's like, and then you earn money on top of that. It's like total. And if you got into that one early enough too, I mean, you got all kinds of airdrops and stuff. Like I don't know if you're familiar with Crypto Jar. He's got a YouTube channel. I watched his content for Node Orbit. Learning how to set those up and stuff like that. And then I've met with him before. He's a nice guy. But he's made like 15 grand from Demo through the earnings, because he was so early, but also just from airdrops and stuff. It's like, man, it's just, if you're willing to risk a little bit, like on a no-name company or something. I mean, it's $300 risk. It's not even a risk, but it's just crazy what the returns can be. I mean, what other space is there stuff like opportunities like this, right?
No, none. Absolutely. I think that's a challenge too. I think also like looking at traditional investing in stocks and stuff like that, being like, I'm going to get in on these penny stocks on these projects that seem really interesting. And it's like, what are the chances they take off? The nice thing is like the crypto space is significantly smaller. Not to say there isn't a bazillion different projects, but no, I would absolutely agree with you. 100% there. Yeah. You'd mentioned helium. I have the Hive Mapper that I got rid of. I'm running Dymo in my wife's van. I have the Helium Mobile running here. That has been a huge blessing for me with that unit. And the timing worked out. And when I look at that video I did not too long ago on profitability on it, I sat on that for like 6+ months and didn't do anything with it. And I'm like, wow, like this is a great example of like, regardless of it making profit in that moment, get that thing running today, like as soon as possible, because all the profit, I didn't calculate it out. I should have looked at it, but I probably lost out on 10 grand, to be honest. Probably lost out on 10 grand.
And remember when we were chatting back and forth about the helium hotspot, and you're like, "Oh, I'm finally going to get this one up and going." I'm like, I think I have one of those in my shed in a box.
Yeah.
And I remember that like a year and a half ago or 2 years
ago. Well before, yeah.
Like, it's so many moving pieces sometimes that you just forget or things fall behind. But yeah, missed opportunity, but we're earning now. So, hey, that's good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, that's been a huge win for me having it here. And then I have the one in Florida through Moken.io, which I found out like they've completely paused that program. So like if you go on their site now, you can't go buying these units because they sold out so quickly. Like there's nothing available. And because the price of the hardware is now so much more expensive. So like it's not as lucrative. But yeah, so that the one in Florida has been my big win. That's been running since last February. So I've been earning 77. Yeah, I've been earning 75% of the entire earnings, and those down there per day, I'm earning 77,000 Helium Mobile token a day off of that, which is insane. Yeah, and that's been since that now. Yeah, it's gone back and forth, but that's been awesome. Huge profit.
What does that work out in terms of monthly profits?
Well, it depends when you ask. Like if we were to check right now, let's see what that is right now. Let's take a gander.
Yes.
Let's step into my office here and we'll take a quick look and see what we got going on here. Yeah, there we go. Oh, they moved it. I heard you complained about this the other day. You're like, how dare they move this to the bottom left-hand corner?
They're trying to be like CoinMarketCap or something. Like CoinGecko, I use you because you're not CoinMarketCap.
Yep. So now the 77,000 definitely was in like the peak of it. I guess they call it the Genesis or whatever. So it's definitely significantly less now. I'm actually going to check over here. Let me see. Let's get more accuracy here.
And how much did you pay for your Florida?
So the Florida one I got entirely free through a partnership deal with Helium Deploy. It went for $1,500 when I actually got it though. Like when I went ahead and was absolutely insane. Where are we going here? They changed their website just in time for me to be locking on. Fantastic. I love it. I'll take a, oh man, I was going to say, where can I look at that? Here we go. I'm going to check the email.
It's funny too. When you were first telling me, like, oh, I'm gonna finally hang this thing on my
I remember
my, house or whatever, and then I remember like 2 or 3 weeks later when you posted that video, I watched the video, and I'm like, maybe I should put one of these in another location. I'm looking at your video, and it's like an outdoor antenna through Freedom Fire, whatever is, $600 for the whole thing. And I'm like, yeah, I guess I could probably swing that, but I kind of slept on it. And then after it all blows up, I look again, they're like $3,000 now. There's such value. Like these are such good, like little reminders that if you can act on this stuff during a bear market, and especially when like people don't care about it, when they've all but dismissed it. Now look at, you put that thing on your house, and that thing's probably earned far more than it ever cost. And then you did this.
Oh yeah.
I mean, well done thinking, I should probably own one of these things in Florida where they first launched this thing. It's like the opportunities are there. It's just, you have to just be savvy and be on the lookout for them.
Okay. So this is a snip I took. So I get an email each week on this. So it shows our profitability is where we are now after Genesis, because 77,000 was Genesis, which was like when the project was first launching. So let's say here we're at 17, 19, 18. So we're going to pick one like right in the middle. Oh my goodness. So 19,344. So that's $53 right there. So $53 a day right now. And that's not at the all-time high where we were before. you know, not too long ago. So if we do that by 30 days, that's $1,600 a month right now.
For the price you paid for the entire year contract, or if you had paid for it, that's crazy.
Yeah, and if we look here, so let's look here. Let's continue on with that. Look at this here. So when we take a look, where did they move all-time high? Here we go. So this was on the 19th. So if you go back on the 19th, the all-time high just not too long ago, and we do a little math there, 2, 3, 4, 4 times $150 a day. That week of all-time high when it bubbled, it was $150 a day.
That's crazy.
That's insane. Like,
and
huge win.
You'd have to be crazy to not think it's going to blast past that all-time high once we get into full-on bull run, and once helium, we're in every city. Here's our adoption. Here's how many phones we're selling. People are gonna be freaking out about it. I like it.
The one Brooksy actually mentioned in chat, the geode, I'm going to call this GeodeNet. I'm not positive on the naming. That's interesting. I heard DJ talking about it, and it is you're pretty much paid a service, kind of similar to like Dymo. It's a set amount, almost set amount, like every week. And so he's getting paid out a set amount every week just to run pretty much a weather station is really what it is. You're another touch point in their network. I think that's a great one. If I had known about that and gotten one, I would have just mounted it on my roof when I rented that lift. Like, that would have been a no-brainer.
On my shed roof.
Do you? Nice. There you go. Is there a set amount of height that those need to be?
That I don't know. I just stuck it up there.
You're like, the shed's high enough. We're just going to run with it.
Well, it's just the shed has completely open sky around it, no trees or any obstructions, so that's why I put it there. But GeodeNet is super cool. Yeah, it's called a space weather station. The reason they call it that is because your little antennas, they just triangulate GPS coordinates, and it improves GPS accuracy, and they do a bunch of data around GPS signals. So super cool. But it's only $600 for one of their hotspots or whatever, and I think that one will do really, really well. Going forward. Was
that like $4 a day? Is that what I was seeing? Is that per day? Maybe that's per week. I can't remember. I remember him looking it up. It seemed rather good.
Last I looked, it was making me like $60 to $100 a month or something like that.
That's fantastic for a $600 investment. Yeah,
well, that's let's call it $50. Be conservative, say $50 a month today. The GeodeNet on the coin rankings on CoinGecko, it's ranked to like 1,200. It's tiny. It's microscopic. Yeah. So all the earnings you get now, if you just wait, and that thing moves up to spot 500 or spot 300, it's a huge return.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is crazy. All right, so I brought show and tell pictures to show of the current shed. We'll run through some of those if anyone has any questions or anything, and then we'll just jump into Q&A and chat, which I think will be fun. So, oh boy. Why is that? I just created a video. I was like, why that video? All right, let me try that again here. Please hold. Round 2. Listen here, folks. This is high quality production. All right.
Never forget that.
Never forget that. That's right. All right, let's load this up here. Andy, I need to see some updated photos of your shed. I feel like we haven't seen anything there.
I should do that. The shed is a mess, though, so I'm trying not to go in there if I can help it.
Yeah. I'm trying to go. Let's go back here. Where are we at? Oh, my goodness. There we go. So outside the shed here, those of you guys not familiar, we got our fog hashing. This is actually cooling oil. I know it's kind of like a mini split. So it cools the oil right then and there. Those are inverters. I do have solar. It does not make my power electric cost zero. I am using far more than electric that I make. I got this system before, ended up going into mining.
Top 5 comments I get on my TikToks and shorts about Bitcoin mining is, why don't you get solar? And I don't think people fully grasp just what they're suggesting.
So I'm in Pennsylvania.
I'll get 10 300-watt panels to power one S19 for half the time, the daylight time of day. That seems great to me.
Yeah, you really got to look at it and how much sun you get per day, like that full time period. So I think Pennsylvania was like 3 or 4 hours max versus somewhere like Arizona, which was like 8 or whatever. And even here at peak season of sun, I think I'm making like 1800 watts constant. So it's like, what are you going to power like 2 mining rigs? And then the system was $26,000. People are like, well, it's 26,000. You're great. It's like, but then you're running 2 mining rigs. Like, think through the math here, people. It's like, if I wanted to run 10 ASICs, how much would you have to spend? $250,000 to what? Run a handful of ASICs? It's just, it doesn't add up, guys.
And even if you were in Arizona and you actually got 8 hours of full sun, full power a day, it's like 8 hours out of 24 hours in a day, and you spend how much money to power these machines for that little? It's the economics are crazy on it.
I think if at some point we get to, the craziness of like 1,000-watt solar panels and the efficiencies there and things like that, maybe. But when I hear people like Elon Musk saying there will never be a driving car fully reliant on solar because it's just not strong enough and the surface area of those cars is not enough, it's like, okay, if Elon Musk, I would say one of the smarter people of our generation, is saying, hey, this isn't going to work to power a car, what makes you think it's going to work to power your miners? Like, you know what I mean?
I saw on Twitter yesterday or the day before, someone who has a Tesla Model Y, they put a roof rack on their Model Y, and then they have solar panels up there that they fold up, and then when they get into a parking spot at work, they unfold them, and it's the entire size of the car, and it's like 4, 3 or 350 watt panels, and by unfolding in their parking spot while they're at work, they gain back like 40 or 60 miles a day. But all that effort, that giant thing they can't even drive with, and they leave it out there for 8 hours in the full sun a day with all that extra-ness, and it only buys them 40 to 60. I mean, that's like driving back and forth to work for free, I guess. So it's cool. But it just shows you like the efficiency and scale and stuff are just not there for this type of stuff.
Yeah, no, 100%. I don't know why that turns to a video. That's interesting. But there's a video. I think it's like part of like when you download it from your phone or whatever. I was going to try to go in order, but it's just not there. So we're just going to stop bouncing around. So there is my mess of Ethernet cables. I completely neglected this shed versus my other shed, getting it up and running. So yeah, my watts, they're pretty high. We're at 27,000. This is part of that immersion kit. This is the oil. So the oil, for those of you guys not familiar, spills over from the main tank. And this tank is just a tad bit lower. So it's constant natural flow. And then that's actually the pump that pumps it out to that unit that is sitting outside. It's a really slick system. Really slick. It's very much like, if you want to say like plug and play, it really is. Like, you just thread the hoses. They're nice threaded hoses and you're done. I saw Voscoin had some kit from DCX that was a lot of manual labor to get it to work. It was like, nope, this was literally just plug and play. Outside the shed here, go ahead.
That tank that where the actual Asics are, is that one bottom fed?
Yes. So the way that this works is, now I have it reversed. I don't have it reversed, but the Asics. So to give you an idea, so it's bottom fed. So the oil, there's 2 different tubes that come in, one that takes it out and one that pulls the oil back in. There's like a grate under there, a really fine grate, and it comes up through, and then it goes through the ASIC, comes out the top. So of course the heat, and then it dumps into that overflow tank. Now in their instructions, they say this side that you see here should be face down in order to naturally go through the quote intake. But the thing is like, there isn't really an intake anymore with an immersion ASIC because it's just stagnant oil. So they say like, if you could do it that way, that would be ideal, and it doesn't work out. And the nice thing was Fog Hashing had an hour-long video on how to prep your ASICs for immersion, which was great. All the things you need to do. I went hardcore on cleaning, everything like that. But yeah, it's really slick. It makes me wish, like, if I thought ahead of it, I would have taken my current ASIC shed and been like, let's get a bath, like let's get a big, 8 tub type of deal, because it's really slick. But there's a cost with these things. They are not cheap at all. Which is the case.
And
there.
That fluid is so expensive too.
It is. I got this fluid in. It came in on a skid. It had to get delivered, and via LTL, and it was It needs 70 liters, and it comes in 20-liter tubs. So yes, expensive and heavy, absolutely, for sure. Exhaust side of the shed. I only got one fan running right now, about a speed of 3 because of the temperature outside, which is great. We saw that one. Saw that one. This is the side of the shed. I did add another shed next to this. Well, it's just a garden shed, but it's a 12 by 10, so it's even bigger than my little skinny shed. But it's got things like riding mower in it, snow blower, things like that. I'm only running one exhaust because the temperature is out right now. That's the back ass side of it. So you can see the black tubes going in. One of those, the taller one is taking out the hot, and the bottom one is bringing in the cool oil, which works out really well. And then there's my electric that I ran in there. There's some more of the meter boxes. If you guys are taking a look at this, you have about 72,000 watts per 30 amp 240 volt, but you can really only use safely at 80%, 5,760. So if you want to stick to your 80% rule, that's kind of something to keep in mind there.
In my shed, I have one 30 amp 220.
Yeah, we got 5 in here. I originally did 3, and I ate them up after a year, and so I added 2 more. GPU mining rigs, number of those here: R8s, miner dudes, octo miners. There's the 𝐕-2 case. I started to get into the 𝐕-2s, which have been great. There's that Z15, the first one there, closest to us. Next to that is a KD Lite that I have running. I have my KD Pro 1, 2, 3s, all those little ones stacked up there as well. The rest of the GPU mining rigs. I've moved away from the octo miners just from a cost perspective, as I've needed to buy more into the 𝐕-2 case, because those you can't really beat. It's like $479 shipped to your door. Octo miners are like $599 plus shipping.
I really want some of these style cases, but even the ones you just said, the V named ones,
𝐕-2s,
those are 29 inches wide, I believe, and my wind tunnel in my shed is like 27 inches wide, so I just can't fit those, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would switch over to one of those and just put all my cards in one or something. Real quick on the Z15, do you have any contact with Fruit and Associates? Do you know, like,
John over at Fruit and Associates?
I've emailed them twice, but I'm like, do you have anything for the Z15? I really want to put that on a big AC Infinity fan.
John is hard to get a hold of, 100%. Another company that I've started to work with is called Hash Vortex. An individual guy. He's over in EU, but he ships worldwide. His prices are actually better, and he actually sent me a kit, and I put it together as a kind of proof of concept. And it's great, not on the Z15, but on like the S19s and stuff. So if you don't see it on Hash Vortex, I could give you a contact, reach out. And he's very like, he's been like, oh yeah, if you need it on this model, let me know. I can spec it out and do everything and start selling them. So he doesn't mind at all.
Man,
pretty sweet.
Yeah, if I can figure that out, I will talk about them on my channel like crazy. I just want someone to solve that problem for me, because I hate hate ASIC noise. And
absolutely. Let's see here. There's my Jazz Miner X41U sitting up top there. That's the one I did the fan replacement on. So it is silent versus that crazy loud noise to it that we have going on there. Let me go back here. As we saw, these pictures are kind of backwards. The exhaust side, immersion. There's the tank by itself. The one thing I wish Fog Hashing had was an app. I would love to connect that thing to wireless and be able to monitor it. And the second thing is it doesn't have if power cuts out, like let's say my power goes out and it comes back on, my miners come back on. That does not. So it doesn't start pumping. So what happens is it actually causes the miners to go into a stale state because they overheat. HiveOS has a state that like keeps them safe, so it shuts them off. But that's the one thing that bothers me. I even reached out to them and they're like, oh yeah, we don't have that. And I'm like, what? Like power goes out, miners come back on, but the tank doesn't. So that's the one thing that bothers me about this unit. That's even if they had an app and it alerted me when the power went out and came back on, and I could at least just press, all right, cool, came back on, great. But the fact that like that doesn't exist is very odd to me.
You should what is it? It's a button on the front, power it on.
The button on the front, you press it once, and then the screen comes on, and it says press to start mining, and you press it, and it starts mining, and it tells you the temperature of the oil, and that's it. That's it. That's all it does.
Is it a physical button you push to actually turn it on?
Yes, that white circle on the very, very front here. Let me go back. Yeah, this little white circle right there.
Okay. So they do have home automation devices. You
have
a physical.
Yeah, it's like a physical finger. Ooh.
You could push. You could buy like a $20 little thing that has a little motor in there, and then tell it that when it senses power come back, if you have that. I don't know. That's one workaround, maybe. That
would be sick. Yeah, especially if it went to an app, you could at least just be like, all right, and it just goes ding, and it would hold. You can
even program it to push multiple times.
Yeah. Wow. I did not even think about that.
Do they even have a good reason to why they don't want to turn back on with power coming back?
I think it's just development. I think it's like how far did they get into it? Because a majority of that product is like mechanical. Like most of that thing is mechanical. So, I'm not really sure. But yeah, I think it's called, someone said here, a switch bot. That's interesting.
Switch, or you could also pull that button off and just see if you could just bypass it.
Yep. I have one 𝐷𝐞𝐬𝐼𝐬𝐜 X12, and I really wish I didn't, only because it is so big it doesn't fit anywhere. So I finally found, I used to have it like closest to my door, and I have to like suck in and walk by it to fit into my shed. Finally found a spot in the corner now. It's worked out awesome, which has been really, really good there. Those are the network switches I have. They're nothing special. They're just TrendNet switches that I mounted to the wall. I used to have my switches and my PDUs in my rack, and it created a rat's nest in the rack and took up rack space. So I put it all on the wall. I learned that from my last shed, and now I just need to run. I bought Ethernet cable to terminate, and I'm going to run all my own Ethernet in here and pipe it and make it all look nice. And clean that up, which will be good in there. We went through that. There's just more there. Intake wall. Those are all my intakes there. Available.
Disposable filters, or do you clean them?
Both. So I originally went with the disposable ones, and then I came across these blue, they're called boar's hair filters. They're tougher. They don't filter as much. I think they're considered a MERV 3. The higher the number, the more it filters out, but the more restriction of air. So I had a MERV 5, and those were the previous ones I had, and those did great, but the air restriction was just way too much. I could see it with my exhaust fans. So I went to these. So I sacrificed a little bit of cleanliness, and I don't see that in the winter as much, but more like, with like the bugs and stuff like that on the season. But these I could take out, hose them out, let them dry in the sun, and then put them back in.
Got it. Yeah. So my shed, I only have one intake. So I have one filter. So the cost is different for me, but I have, mine are MERV 10 or 12, but I use 5-inch filters. So they're real. So the airflow is not restricted at all. Those breathe really, really well because there's just so much surface area. But yeah, when you go thinner, the MERV really, you got to be below 8 or something to have any kind of decent airflow on the thin ones.
Yeah, I really saw it, and how I was able to tell that for those in chat was that, like, if you take out the filter, you can actually you can mark where your exhaust fins are on the shutter fans, and like if you were to take out the filters, you might go from this to like this, and instantly, like, wow, like it is like sucking through a straw. It's negative air pressure, which is the goal of my shed design, is just pull across the rigs and out you go. So you kind of have to find that happy median of like, all right, I'm going to sacrifice some airflow and for it. But yeah, it's worked out well there, which has been good. We were talking about these earlier. I think that's it. Those are our pictures. The show and tell is over for today. I like it. Cool. So why don't we open it up to chat here, guys? So feel free. I apologize for ignoring any of your wonderful questions, but feel free. We'll just start fresh. Feel free to ask in chat. Andy and I will answer some questions here. I'm going to hang tight till about 3:30. I don't know, Andy, what your time looks like or your availability today.
I should be good. As long, batteries are all looking good. So
yeah, that's 38 minutes for me, East Coast time. But yeah, there's a question in chat from Mike.
What's up with ETMC? Are you still running nodes? Yes, you can actually, because my background's not blurry because I'm using the camera webcam on my MacBook. You can see some of them right here. They're off right now. I had to hurry up and stop the nodes and close them down just because I didn't want to worry about like losing them or anything. Any of my accumulated ETC proof of work tokens, but they've all broken even. So I am fully broken even on those, in profit, which is nice. The price on ETC POW is down a lot. It doesn't look super great, but I don't know. I feel like it's either continuing to collapse or we'll go into the bull run and it'll take back off. But I've got 7 of the ETC MC nodes, and I'm happy. I'm in full profit now. Some people have made a lot of money with them. They just got in earlier than me.
Yeah, I have not touched it at all. I was approached about it early on and was like, yeah, I'm not interested. It was just, it wasn't straight Ethereum Classic. That's just kind of where my mind went. These projects really need to start changing their names to stand on their own, I wish. But I didn't see any interest in it. I didn't go that route. I also at that time was just like involved in so many things. Like as a home miner, as a content creator, involved in so many different projects. I was like, I think this was around the time too, where I was like, oh, I'm trying to get my Helium Mobile up. I'm like, all that. I was like, I just don't have the bandwidth. And I think that's one of the challenges where, like I say to people too, is like, you can't be involved in everything. You can't own every coin. You can't be mining every project. So I did not get involved, but I know people that have done well with it. People that I guess found some loopholes and like could stand up like a bazillion of them on VMs or something like that, and like copy them so they instantly were. I don't know all the details, but I hear people abused it a lot, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I didn't abuse it, and like I didn't get around like paying for licenses and stuff. But I do have some virtualized, and there's some people who figure out you can run on far less than their requirements that they state on their website and stuff. But yeah, there was people in Sleep Money Club who were telling me about it. Like one of my moderators, 𝗏𝐸, I know he was telling me about this like months ago. Like, hey, Andy, you should really look at this. And I just have so many things going on. I kind of just ignored it, unfortunately, and then I finally got in. But now I'm in profit, so that's great. But yeah,
good for you.
Sometimes it pays to be fast on stuff. There's more risk earlier on sometimes, but trade-offs.
Yeah, I'm in one of those situations where I, in the past, have always tried to make content around what I do within this crypto space, and it's just I've gotten to the point now where it's like today, like I deployed 2 GPU mining rigs. I got them working. I could have made content out of it, but it was like I don't have time. I just need to get these things up and running. So I've started to go that route where it's like, time is definitely a factor. Question here from Polly says, is it late to get into HiveMapper or still bullish? What are your thoughts on that?
I think that depends on what your personal thoughts are on the trajectory of the project. Do you think it has legs? Do you think it'll do well in the bull run? I personally, I see a very promising early product with a real team of people behind it, with a great idea and decentralized street mapping and stuff that has a real potential revenue sources. Already have some turned on, so all that looks really great. All very positive stuff. I think the question is, will this trend continue? I'm betting it will, because we're not fully in the bull run yet. So I'm kind of betting on a Helium-like trajectory. So I think now is not too late, but I think if you wait until we're full on bull run, yes, too late.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'd also consider like looking at, do you buy the token versus trying to get a HiveMapper right now, because they are overpriced. So it's like the amount of money you would spend on the unit right now versus actually buying it. I'd probably buy it right now and kind of go from there. I'm also curious on like when they have new models come out that do some of the things that we talked about, then I think you're looking really, really good. Is 5G still worth it at Rust? I don't know what Rust is, but is 5G, maybe he's talking about Helium 5G, is it still worth it? 100%. I mean, I think we're very early on with Helium 5G. We had a big pump the other day, but I doubt that's the end of it. I mean, based off of them expanding, they're taking a lot of market share right now from Verizon, AT&T. So that's a huge one. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely worth it. Now the hard part is getting your hands on hardware and then, actually having a place to put it. You can't put it in your window, can't really put it on your deck. They want these things up high. There is some vetting that goes through the process. So yeah, I personally think it, even if you just want to take some investment funds and buy into the token, versus getting into the project. And you can't mine everything, as we talked about. So it might just be worth to invest as well. What do you think, Andy?
Yeah, I think look at the trajectory of Helium last crypto bull run. And if you have the expectation the next bull run will be even bigger than this one, and the fact that Helium blew up like it did and it pumped like it did with no customers, no real revenue from IoT
at all.
And now they're launching something that is retail and consumer facing that is actually working, and they're actually launching a project and people are actually using it. I mean, that seems very bullish to me. So yes, I want to be earning as much mobile as I possibly can, and probably, maybe even buy some just Helium itself. I don't know. I've made a full 180 on Helium. I was very down on it during the bear market because I'm like, well, they had $120 of revenue a month or something from their IoT. It was something so pathetic it wasn't even worth mentioning. That's a total failure. But they, like a lot of companies, once upon a time, YouTube was a dating website. There's
I still had never heard this until I heard it from you, and I was like, really? I was like, okay.
Like, there's a million stories of tech companies that have started as one thing and they pivoted and they changed direction. Now they're massively successful because of another thing. And Helium, while they still are doing the IoT, they have made a successful so far pivot, and if it continues on this trajectory, it's like, I want to be a part of that. So no, not too early in my opinion either.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good avenue to look at. I mean, my goal of it is I saw people suffered with the original Helium project, and I was not part of it then. I came into it a little bit after, but still did well. I mean, the last bull run, my Helium miner, I have a traditional gold spot Helium miner with an 8 dB antenna outside, now mounted right next to that. But I had it in my attic with an 8 dB antenna, was still making $15.50 a day with that unit during the peak of things. So I did well with Helium.
I actually your channel because of Helium. That's how I originally found you.
Yeah, it's funny. When Helium Mobile started to kick off, people had reached out to me like, are you getting into it? And I was very hesitant to do it because of just how many people got burned by it. But I didn't have that same experience with that. And I've had mine running now for a few years, which has been good. So I took my Helium and converted it into Solana once it moved over to that network. So I don't hold any Helium right now. The interesting thing is about Helium is like it's had some pumps over the last week or 2 weeks or so, but nothing's using that Helium right now. And what I mean by that is like they just put out like a HIP, they call it, with Helium, that like now like Helium Mobile is getting burned when new devices are coming online, not cell phones, but like if you were to do like a 5G like @FreedomPhi or something like that, Helium is getting burned for those now when each of those is getting on. So they're kind of taking some of that back, which I think that helps with supply and demand. I get it. I definitely do. But at first it was supposed to be Helium, but that doesn't apply anymore. So like, what is Helium? Like Helium, the actual token, I don't know. There might be some Helium heads in chat that would know, but what it's actually being used for now, who knows?
Another interesting opportunity is I know quite a few people who are getting the mobile service, and they're paying the $20 a month, but they are turning their phones on in the app to do like mapping and discovery, and they're earning like 5x back in mobile token what they are paying for the actual monthly mobile network coverage. So that's another thing. If you don't want to spend $2,500 or $3,000 on a mobile hotspot, 5G hotspot, get the phone service on a spare phone and turn on the mapping or whatever, and you might earn a nice bag of Helium that way. But also, this is a good like lesson I think that we're both talking about here, in that you need to always constantly evaluate and challenge your biases and your beliefs and your slants in how you view this stuff, because there's lots of things that I love and then I all of a sudden hate because they change the direction. But as long as I'm open-minded, I honestly assess these things. If they change for the better, then I can love them again. But some people just get so like, I was burned once, so this. I'm done with it or whatever. I'm out. I think
Overboard Tech did correct me in chat that. So now I'm recalling better. So I appreciate him mentioning it. The burn feature is actually on Helium. So it's funny. Helium mobile devices are coming online, but they're burning Helium now, which is really interesting. And I think because the HIP is so old I think is like when it originally was proposed. I'm not sure exactly, but good question there. Question here: which reasonably priced GPUs would you suggest to buy now? And still a good idea to get. We've talked about 5G there. So I would say on the GPU side, if you're going to get into it, me personally, I'm going to be buying up when I get some of that power available. 6600 XTs. Maybe 6700 XTs, AMD. A lot of these coins recently have been 𝐾𝐲, and so they've all been off of the 𝐾𝐲 algorithm. The AMD cards do significantly better than any of the NVIDIA cards, any of these 3000 or 4000 series from a watts perspective. So for me, that's the direction I'm going to go. It's just like, how many projects right now come to mind that are all the most profitable for GPU mining right now that are 𝐾𝐲 driven? It's like most of them, except for maybe a lithium. So that's my perspective. Any way in there, Andy? I know GPUs aren't as much your thing, but all right.
Nope. Whatever whatever hobbyist says is I just say, okay, I'll do that.
Okay, I'll take it. Cool. Scrolling down here, let's see. Some of you guys talking about helium. Yes. So the Helium Mobile is run off of T-Mobile. That's correct. They've partnered with T-Mobile. I remember when I saw that and I was like, that's huge. Like now that you're partnered with an actual like massive company like that, I mean, that's a big deal. That's absolutely a big deal. Let's see. What is the question here? What are your thoughts about the cheap $230 8-card server cases I've seen on eBay and Newegg? Are they any good? Are the 𝐕2 cases better? So I could only vouch for the 𝐕2 cases. I now have 4 of them. I've had great success with them. My avenue for those cases are, I am done the days of when I first got into mining, where I'm going to be buying HP towers off of Facebook, stripping them down and building them on a piece of wood or cardboard, and like spending hours trying to get them to even work or post. It's like, nope. My time is more valuable to me. I just want these cards up and running. I want to start mining as soon as possible. The 𝐕2 cases come ready to go. You literally flash the hard drive with Hive and you put your GPU cases in and you press the button and it works. And you're done. Like, that's where I'm at. So for me, server case pricing it's always expensive. So when you can get these on Amazon with Amazon Prime for free shipping and it's $479 to your door, I'm like, and it's there in 2 to 3 days. It's like, okay, they're not coming from China. You're not waiting for it to come in. It's not, $300 in shipping. So yeah, I mean, it's hard to compete. The $230 ones you're referring to, I don't know anything about those. Do they come with everything ready to go? That's just kind of why I like the 𝐕2 cases. So yeah, that's my perspective of it. I'm just seeing more value in my time. But I was a tinkerer early on, and I get it. Some people may argue these cases, $479 aren't worth it. And it's like, all right, well, build your own. How much time are you going to invest into finding a case that works for you? You get the case, you have to modify it. What's the price on the motherboard? The fans are a big one. Those high RPM fans are not cheap. Power supply, all that. So price it out. And when it ends up being a $50 difference before you even put your labor into it, it's like, all right, guys, value your time. So any thoughts on that, Andy?
Yeah, I agree with all the, value your time stuff. Absolutely. It's worth a little bit of extra cost to just have that ease. On those cases, how have you found the power supplies, and also how noisy are they?
So the power supplies are the loudest thing in those. They are louder. They're not screaming though. You're not going to have screaming. It's just louder. The fans are really great. The fans are awesome. I mean, the fact they have fans in the front and the back, I love that. The cards almost hold a place in the middle. So like your IO of the back of your card isn't at the back of the case and you can see it. It's actually like a little bit stepped back. So you get a nice push pull. So the cooling's off. The cooling's awesome. And it has a fan knob on it. So you can adjust them, which is great. Now, I'm with my rigs all day long. So like, I don't mind having a manual fan controller. With the Octo miners, the miner dudes, the GPU risers R8s, you're paying for the R&D they put into that to integrate with Hive OS. Let's be honest here. And those cases are awesome. I have several of them. They are the Cadillac of GPU mining cases for sure. But it's not for everybody, especially on that price.
Oval Bore in the chat. What did you? How did you modify it? Did you do a fan swap, or what did you do? What did you put in it?
PS user saw it. I've modded mine. Oh, for his there. Yeah, I think he actually put a Noctua fan in the power supply. So like you can take the power supply apart. Like I did that with one of my I think like an L3. I swapped out the power supply fan and that and stuff like that. So you can do those, swap it out with like a Noctua. Noctuas are not a direct replacement. So people know, like even like I saw Panda was doing a heater S9 video today. Noctuas are like 50% of the fan of the RPMs of one of those high speed ones. So I have had issues with the L3 putting Noctuas on the front of my L3 instead of the high RPM ones during spring and summer. They get too hot. They just don't put out enough, type of deal. So you need to keep that in mind if they're outside temps. So he said he put a 4-watt resistor on the ground leg. I don't know what that does. Please enlighten us. I don't know, Andy, if you know what that does. But
there's just a disparity between the two fan wattages, and he needed to dip it down a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with this one. What happened to Syncrobit? Still waiting for my Voss coin edition. I'm not familiar with that. Do you know what that is?
It just failed. Yeah, there's a company that was making helium hotspots. I think they just
really? Okay.
Send people there. Yeah, Voss did a thing.
That was a common thing, unfortunately, at that point in time, which is rough. Let's see. What about the BC 160 cards? I've never got my hands on those before. I've looked at some out there on the BC models, but never played with them at all. Here's somebody in chat. Chuck Danger. I have 3 V-Tretus. They're worth it. There you go. 100%. And get them while you can, because they've actually gone on. They used to be $329. They've gone up in price. I've also helped to sell them out a few times where like 2 days after a video on it, they're sold out and they've come back. They do have the green and the black version. I don't really care. They're the same price, but sometimes they're available. I have seen them gone up to high 500s before on Amazon. So, kind of get them while you can, honestly.
I need to see if I can modify my wind tunnel to fit those, and then I can just get 2 of those and call it a day.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely would be nice, really convenient for you, which would be really cool. I'll get a link in chat as we've been promoting them quite a bit here, so let me find those. In the meantime, if you find any questions in chat, guys, we're gonna hang tight for about 20 more minutes, answer questions, chat with you guys. This was very much an impromptu stream. I'm like hanging out. I'm like, hey Andy, what are you doing this afternoon? You want to go live and chat with people? He's like, yeah, sure, sounds good. All right, cool, let's do it.
Not up to anything except for just losing power at my house.
Yeah, that's right. Unfortunately, yeah.
Luna Classic says I just got a deeper mined and staked as like a deeper DPR device. Is that what you're? Will take a few days to see rewards. Is that the one you're talking about? Like a.
So Pearl Rival had messages. I saw. Are you familiar with DeFi Django? He has a YouTube channel. He has the mining farm that he has out in Arizona, in an old data center. Have you seen his channel before?
I don't think so.
Check it out. Great guy, very eccentric. He makes very few YouTube videos, but when he does, they are awesome. He hosts a GPU mining farm company in I think it's Arizona, in an old data center. And
cool.
eccentric. It used to be air conditioning until the AC went out, and it's like $3 million to repair it. So he's not the owner of the place he leases from is not fixing it, but allowing him to put construction into it. So he's like knocking down walls, putting up intakes, exhaust, everything. Anyway, he's in the process of half of the farm that he hosts is in cases, and the other half is open frames. He's got like 800 rigs or something crazy. And he posted a video today about experimenting with cases. So Pearl Rival here had said, you nailed it with Django charging the customers. Yeah, so he accepts customer rigs that are open frames, and then they're a nightmare for him. So I had mentioned on his video and said, one of the requirements like Terra hosting does is say, we will host your rigs. They have to be in these cases because then they can manage them. They put them in R8s. That something for Django is a great example there too. It's like, dude, if you're managing other people's hardware, having some standardization, I think will be huge.
Yeah. No, I'm not familiar with this channel, but it looks cool. Yeah, I'll subscribe.
Yeah.
Watch some.
Yeah, he's a fun one to check out. Very vloggy style or voiceover when he works on his projects, which has really been a lot of fun to follow along with. Let's see. just check in chat here, guys. Feel free to hammer away on any questions you have, and we'll go from there. Let's see. Wow, they were at Ovalboard Tech said those V-Tret2 cases were $199 when they came out. That's impressive.
When I first saw them, they were like $250. They were under $300. They just, I guess I'd been looking at rigs on Amazon or something that popped up in my like the for you section, recommended for you, and I clicked on them. But I immediately looked at the dimensions, like another one I can't fit in my tunnel. So I just missed it. But in hindsight, maybe I should have bought some sub $300 V-Tret2.
V-Tret2 cases. Here's a question here from Polly. Andy, do you have any tips for a coin to watch which you can share with us plebs outside the club? What's the club? Why don't you explain what the club is first?
Yeah, you need to drop
it sounds like the boys club.
Yeah, you need to drop your affiliate link in there. Sleep Money Club, in case those who don't know, is my private membership community. I share a lot of stuff there before I talk about it on the channel. If you want to see what's in my portfolio, if you want to see what I'm buying and selling, as I buy and sell it. If you want to be in exclusive live streams and see a bunch of other cool resources, we have teachers in there who are putting out courses and content and airdrop guides and all kinds of stuff. Tons and tons of value. And there's a 7-day free trial. You can use a hobbyist link right there. Sign up, test it out for a week, and don't pay a dime. But what's something we talked about recently? I just got a 𝐕𝐤𝐳 AI node stood up. That one's CPU mineable. And I know that there's people. I think that one, I don't know if it's dipped a lot. I think people have been selling off quite a bit. So it might not be as profitable, but that one was even a couple days ago very profitable on CPU mining, and the node is quite profitable right now. Joe Cool.
I use the
chat from Sleep.
I use the crypto trading channel the most. I actually had Andy bring it back because I use that channel the most because I like to see what other people are buying. For me, over the last 6 months, the biggest change in my style has been taking opportunities to sell for profit on some of these coins that I'm not mining. So that has been nice to be able to see like what are other people buying, what are other people selling. So in that channel, people are just posting their trades or posting their interest. And so for me, I've used that as an outlet to share when I'm like, hey, I just bought $250 of this or $500 of this. So I'm taking my wins more often now and mostly it's about 50%. I never take out fully. To USDT, hold it, and then it's like, oh, this project I'm interested in, I'm going to buy, $250. So in there, people aren't in there like, I just bought $20,000 of this coin. No, it's like $500, $1,000, $250 here and there. And so it's always nice to see, and people give reasons as to like, hey, I decided to sell this because it's up 400%. It's like, okay, that's a good win there. So that's how I use that the most. And then crypto mining, I think, is not as of value to me. But people are asking questions and tagging me, and I'm answering them. Or Andy will go, "Hey, hobbyist, any thoughts on this?" And I'm like, "Okay, Andy, tag me. I guess I should give some feedback there." So definitely check it out, guys.
Yeah, you've had some nice trading wins in the club recently. Oh, Kevin in here joined Sleep Money Club last week. Worth it. Super cool to hear that. Oh, Luna Classic. Okay, you did say yes. The mini. So the Deeper Connect Mini. Yeah, that's the one I run. What was the question you originally asked about that? I lost my place.
It must have been a while ago. I know, right? It's like, where was I?
Oh, yeah. Just got the Deeper Mini and staked. Will it take a few days to see rewards? Yes, I believe so. But then after that, it'll just be automatic, and you'll get it every single day like clockwork. Mine's been running. Mine's also up there, right up there. And it's been, my Deeper Connect Mini has been running for like 2 years now. I've got quite the bag. And that one pumped recently. So that one's up quite a bit. That one became much more profitable recently.
Now, what's your threshold for taking any profits on that? Like, because you said you have quite a bag now and it pumped and you've been running it for 2 years. So what's your trigger for that one? What were your other thoughts?
I'm really good about mapping everything out to where I'm going to sell things, but that's one that I don't think I have. I haven't given any.
Okay.
I kind of forgot about it honestly because it dumped really hard. It went down like 99%.
Wow, it was like dead. Wow, ouch.
I thought, yeah, but they kept putting out new hardware and they kept doing updates and they kept doing development. So I was like, I guess they're not dead. They just the token price looks dead.
Yeah,
I've just been letting it stack up. I need to look at that one again. I don't know what targets I have. I haven't sold any.
Okay. Lord of Lore here says, any idea why my 6700 XT Eagle doesn't keep the settings in HiveOS? I would reflash HiveOS. So take out your solid state drive or USB. Always recommend solid state drives over USB though, and reflash it. Reflash it with HiveOS. See if that fixes your issue for you. Your flight sheet should stick. So I'm not really sure why you're having issues, but that would be where I would start if that helps you out. Have you gotten into Fry? I was approached on this and mentioned this forever ago. I guess Fry was more, is that Node as well? Are you familiar with that one?
Yeah, you run a little mini computer.
Okay, got you.
That's a miner, quote unquote. It's just you run some software on a computer and you earn the token. It's not actually mining anything, but yeah, they've got like one that shares data, one that's about the weather, I think, one that does sound levels. They've got
wow, okay,
a security camera one. They've got like a bunch. I don't know who's actually using this data or what they're doing with it, but they're collecting and paying for it.
Anthony says, open these 2 sealed boxes of 3060 Ti's or let them sit on the shelf for a chance at a higher sale for the run. Honestly, in the bull run, people don't care if they're brand new or used. That price is so close together. And if it's an EVGA, like for the Win 3s and stuff like that, people are paying arm and a leg for those. So
rest in peace.
Take it out, mine with it, and then sell it in the bull run. Honestly, I would not be concerned about it at all. Let's see. Thoughts on when Flux will start beta and start previews for work? Heard it might be soon as CES. Well, CES is over. I haven't seen any announcements on it. When they will start it, I don't know anything more than you do. I thought it was supposed to be the other month. Last month. December 15th is what they had told everybody. And then that didn't come true, unfortunately. It was just FluxCore. So I don't know when previews for work will be here. I'd love to see it sooner than later, but their original projections back at Cypherpunk were like Q3, Q4 of this year. So I would probably say maybe Q4, Q1 rolling into the next year. Who knows? Here's one for Andy. Do you guys do GeoDNet?
Yes. And I like it. Great project that's still really, really early.
Yeah.
I'm running one outside right now.
Yep. Here's someone in chat. Kevin joined Sleep Money last week. Worth it. That is awesome. Good for you, Kevin. Sorry, guys. I am catching up on chat here. Let's see. Scrolling down. Quite a few ZZZ members in here. That's awesome. How much is the subscription after 7 days, Andy?
$60. $59.99. I don't think I have it on your link, but I need to I need to update your link, hobbyist. But we do now. We finally got our Coinbase Commerce account turned on, so we do accept crypto now. And with the crypto one, we have a 6-month and a 1-year memberships. And if you do a 6 month, you get 1 month for free, and if you do the 1 year, you get 2 months for free.
That's awesome.
Yeah, 7-day free trial and then $60 after that. And for anybody who is interested in trying it out, that price will 100% go up in the future. But right now it's where it is.
Yeah. What are some wallets you recommend that hold most of the GPU mineable coins? That's a good question. So I'll give you an idea of what I hold. So I have a Tangent wallet that's newer to me. I only got it last week. And I love it so far. That's worked out really, really well. They have most coins. And I saw a roadmap over the next 3 months. They're adding things like Dynex and stuff like that to it. So they're adding a lot. The one wallet I would say is the most connected with the proof of work community is Tangent. They are like adding coins left and right of things we as a community are mining. So I recommend that. I have a Ledger. I have some of my coins on that. And then I also use Zelcore. I use Exodus. And then I have a virtual machine server, so running Hyper-V server that has probably 20 to 25 different core wallets on it. And as things become available on some of these more mainstream wallets, I will move them away from a core wallet. And so my goal is just diversifying. Like I have separated like most of my funds up to like 4 different larger platforms, because you never know, one gets hacked or something happens. It's only a fourth of your entire portfolio. And then the core wallets, you're stuck with core wallets, guys, with a lot of these GPU mineable coins that are young and just launch. So having a solution for that. I do have a video on wallets and all the different types of wallets and avenues to go. So check it out on the channel. But yeah, that's kind of where I am. What about you, Andy? How are you managing all of your crypto funds?
Same way. And I highly recommend anybody who wants to get into super early proof of work projects, like I like to do, Spec Mine and node projects and stuff, that you do what Hobbyist just said, which is do virtual machines for each individual wallet, completely segregate them, because unfortunately, the reality is if you get into some of this early stuff, sometimes every once in a while, one of those wallets is a malicious wallet, packing a Trojan or something. And unfortunately, I've seen people who get their other wallets cleaned out because they install it on the same machine. And they use it as a backdoor. They go in, they grab all your wallet.dats, they clear it out. So yes, I use Unraid. That's my house server, and so I use all my virtual machines on that. I spin up a virtual machine for every single core wallet, and then as they mature, then I put them into Zelcore or something else that is supported. I don't have Tangem, but people keep saying really good things. So I'm going to try that one out.
Huge win with that. Really like that. Mine is tied to the cards that it comes with from a security perspective, and it's tied to my finger for biometric as well. That's cool. Which is great. One thing I would say for people going the core wallet avenue with virtual, like people, I'm going to say lazy miners, because guys, we're lazy by nature. I get it. They will just install them on their desktop PC and then they use them. Worst place in the world you can put them. They could install keyloggers and all that types of stuff. So practice I do. Use Hyper-V. It's entirely free. I'm running a server version, but you can run it on, I think, Windows Pro. And you can install Hyper-V. You can launch a VM. There's thousands of videos out there on YouTube just from the technology side. You turn up a new VM, and then let's say I'm doing something like a lithium. I will go to their website. I will download it on that virtual machine. And before I run it, I will bring it into a website called VirusTotal. If you guys don't use VirusTotal every day, take a look. It's an awesome site. You don't have to have membership to it. You can take any files, zip files, whatever. You drop it in it. It unpacks it. It goes through and tests it. I think it's like 40 different ways in seconds. And then it tells you if anything's detected. And then I open it up on that virtual machine. And it's a great way to go about doing it. I've had great success with it. Windows Defender will flag these things almost instantly. So, don't go off of Windows Defender at all. They're very anti-crypto. Yeah, very much so. VirusTotal, then run it. And then the nice thing is after I have my core wallet up and running, I literally grab my receive address, I sync it, and then I shut that virtual machine down. And I don't turn it back on until I actually need it. So all my core wallets are off all the time.
That's what I do. I every once in a while I get comments on my channel like, Andy, you're a scammer. Neox is a scam. My Windows Defender said the wallet is a Trojan. I'm like,
yep.
Welcome to GPU mining. That's every wallet out there. It's like,
yes, very much so. Very much so. What's a good video to set up virtual machines for core wallets? I have a video on it. Oh, I got the wrong there. I have a video on the entire concept. But not a step-by-step. I mean, literally setting up a virtual machine, you literally can Google it. Like, literally look up how to set up Hyper-V on Windows. And there's a bazillion tech guides out there, not specific to mining. And it's pretty much just another rig out there. If you have more questions, stop over in the Hobbyist Miner Discord. Links directly down below. There's all different sections. There's a lot of knowledgeable people in there. I'll see if I can find the video I had that went in a little bit more in depth into that process. Because those are some of those videos that will continue to be valuable. Yep, I found it right here. There we go. I will put that in chat for you guys, and you guys can check it out. All right, guys, we have. Yep, go ahead.
I was going to say Ryan at Anti-Tourist Travel, great name, said ZZZ turned me into a part-time options trader. That's super cool.
Whoa!
Yeah, whole separate section of Sleep Money Club that I don't actually do much of. We have a teacher, Dark Miner, who handles all that. Is selling stock options, which is a very different value proposition to buying. Buying is very risky. Selling has risks, but they're very different risks, and they're much more removed. But
yeah,
our stock options team selling stock options in 2023, the entire team of like, I don't know, 30 or 40 people, they made $700,000 in profit in 2023.
That's crazy.
In Sleep Money Club.
Crazy.
So yeah, one thing also to note about, like, yes, it costs money to join Sleep Money Club, but again, we have free trials so you can see what you're going to be paying for. But also, I'm sure many of the people who are in the chat right now, who are in Sleep Money Club, will attest to, if you do the things we talk about, from the things you learn about in the club, you will earn many multiples of your monthly fee. There's a lot of people who join, and the first month they earn a few $1,000s from airdrops they didn't know, because we have a step-by-step airdrop guide done by our trading kind of teacher, Zach, or something like that. You know, there's lots of examples of that. So that's the goal, is to, like, I love hearing stuff like that, because we want to deliver as much value for your money as possible.
Yep, absolutely. Couple of pranksters that asked here too. Definitely need a detailed video. Absolutely. I mean, I would say use Google and YouTube as your best friend. Try to look things up. If you still need more help, I will put this one out there while we're on this tangent here. I do offer consulting services. I do this multiple times a week. So stop on over. I'll put a link in chat to the hobbyistminer.io. You can go ahead and cut out a block of time, half hour or an hour. It does cost money. I value my time, and I believe you guys value my knowledge, and we can get you set up one-on-one, get this all good to go for you. So go over, check it out, theHobbyistMiner.io over there. All the ways to contact me are over there, as well as the scheduling app. You do it right through the app and everything like that, which is pretty slick, which is cool.
Powered by Flux, this site of yours. This is
cool.
Cool.
It is actually on Flux. It is absolutely, it's run entirely on Flux. So the entire thing is on there, and it works really, really well. So it's on WordPress, right on Flux, and 𝐶𝐢𝐬𝐜𝐿. I worked with 𝐶𝐢𝐬𝐜 in the community to help me get it all set up, and even that cool background of just a little bit of everything going on over there has been a lot of fun. So yeah, cool. Yeah. So all right, guys, we're gonna wrap things up there for today. Andy, where can people go check out more of your content?
Just go to YouTube and type in your friend Andy, and you'll see me. I'm there. I'll say hi. Hello.
He's there. I will promote Andy's podcast, by the way. So Andy has a podcast. Why don't you tell people about that podcast? Because I think it's awesome.
I do like the podcast. Man, I've got to get back on the podcast horse. I haven't done an episode in a month or two, I think, at this point. So hard to keep all these juggling balls in the air. But yeah, if you go to my YouTube channel, Your Friend Andy, when you first go to the channel page, you'll see just below there featured channels, and you will see Andy and Friends, which is my podcast, which I've had hobbyists on there at least once. Multiple times now, or just one? Okay.
I think it was once when we were at.
Oh yeah, at Mining Disrupt.
Mining Disrupt, yeah. No. That was at was it Cypherpunk? No, Cypherpunk.
Yep, Cypherpunk.
We've been to a few events together, so I can't remember.
That's right.
Absolutely. Cool, guys. Well, thank you guys both. Thank you for joining me, and thank you everyone for joining us today. Had an absolute blast, a fun impromptu stream from myself and Andy. We'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye.